I still remember the gay, Mom called me at work, voice shaking with excitement. "Haley, we did it! We got approved for the second mortgage on the house." I thought something terrible had happened. Medical bills, Dad's heart again. Instead, she said, "Maddie's brand deals are about to explode. She just needs a little push. New camera, ring light set, that van for the cross-country tour. This is her moment." I was 27, living in a 900-square-foot apartment with Carter, saving every penny for a down payment. They never offered me a dime for college. I'd paid my own way with scholarships and night shifts. But Madison? Madison got the second mortgage on the house I grew up in. Over the next year, I watched my childhood home turn into a content factory. New hardwood floors for better lighting. Professional kitchen remodel for cooking videos are trending. A $90,000 Sprinter van wrapped in pastel pink with Maddie's World smiley face on the side, alone in Mom and Dad's name. I kept quiet. That's what the responsible one does. Then the brand deals dried up. TikTok algorithm changed. Maddie's relatable era became out of touch. The van sat in the driveway with a flat tire. The ring lights collected dust. Last month, Mom called again. This time, she was crying. "The bank's foreclosing if we miss another payment." Maddie's devastated. "We need your help, Haley Bear. You make good money now. Can you cover the mortgage until her next sponsorship?" I stared at my phone for a long time. Carter walked in, saw my face, and said, "Please tell me you're not thinking about it." I wasn't thinking. I was planning. Because if they wanted to bet my childhood home on Maddie's 15 minutes, I was about to show them what a lifetime of being invisible feels like when the invisible one finally turns off the lights. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. I just asked for the exact numbers. Mom emailed me the mortgage statements like I was the family accountant, which I basically had been since I was 16. $312,000 remaining. Monthly payment, $2,847. Late fees, $1,129 and climbing. Maddie posted a tearful reel that night. "Adulting is hard. Some months are slower than others, but I'm so grateful for my supportive family." #entrepreneur life. Comments poured in. "You got this, Queen. Your parents must be so proud." I screenshotted every single one. Then I did what I do best. I made a spreadsheet. Column A, every dollar they'd spent on Maddie in the last 3 years. Van, ring lights, sponsored trips, even the $8,000 teeth whitening. Column B, every dollar they'd ever given me. Birthday cards with $20 bills. One used Honda at 17 that died at 120K miles. Column C, the foreclosure timeline. I sent Mom a calm, professional email. "Happy to help. Send me the full loan docs, current bank statements, and Maddie's LLC financials. I'll review everything and get back to you with a plan by Monday." She replied in 10 minutes with heart emojis and "You're an angel." Carter read it over my shoulder. "You're not actually paying, right?" I smiled for the first time in weeks. "Oh, I'm paying, just not with money." That weekend, Lauren came over with wine and her laptop. We pulled Maddie's LLC filings, public record. Turns out, Maddie's World LLC was registered in Mom and Dad's names. They were personally liable for every failed brand deal, every returned product, every unpaid influencer tax. Lauren whistled. They co-signed her entire career. When it crashes, the house goes with it. I opened a new document titled Exit Strategy. Step 1. Freeze all joint accounts I still had access to from helping with their taxes. Step 2. Contact the bank anonymously with proof of fraud. Mom forging my signature on a $15K loan to Maddie last year. Step 3. Wait, because foreclosure doesn't care about tears and TikTok followers. And I was done carrying water for people who never. The bank called me directly on a Wednesday. Not mom, not dad, me. The loan officer was polite but firm. Ms. Brooks, we received an anonymous fraud report on the mortgage tied to your parents' address. Your signature appears on a $15,000 addendum from last year. Can you verify? I played dumb perfectly. That's impossible. I never co-signed anything. Can you send me a copy? She did. Mom's handwriting. My forged signature. Dated the week Maddie flew to Coachella for brand exposure. I forwarded it to the bank's fraud department with a short note. This is not my signature. Please investigate. Then I sat back and waited. 3 days later, Mom's name appeared on a local Facebook group. Anyone know a good bankruptcy attorney? Asking for a friend. Maddie posted a tearful story from the pink van, now with a boot on the tire. Haters are trying to tear down everything I've built, but we rise. The comments weren't kind anymore. Dad showed up at my office on a Friday, looking 10 years older. Haley, the bank froze everything. They're saying fraud. We might lose the house next month. I let him stand there. That's terrible, I said. He waited for more. I gave him nothing. That night, Mom called screaming. You reported us? After everything we've done for you? I stayed calm. You mean after everything you've done for Maddie with my childhood home as collateral? She hung up crying. The next morning, Madison's biggest sponsor, an athleisure brand, dropped her. Someone had sent them the fraud report screenshots. Her follower count started bleeding. Carter found me in the kitchen, staring at the spreadsheet. You okay? I closed the laptop. I'm not okay yet, but I will be. Because the foreclosure clock was ticking. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't the one racing to stop it. The foreclosure auction was scheduled for the first Tuesday in June. Mom left 17 voicemails that week. Some crying, some yelling, one just breathing. I listened to none of them. The day before the auction, Madison showed up at my office in sweatpants and yesterday's makeup. She'd lost 30 pounds and most of her sponsors. Haley, please, she started, voice cracking. I held up a hand. Conference room, now. She sat across from me like a stranger. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't know they took out the mortgage until it was too late. I slid the folder across the table, every receipt, every transfer, every forged document. You knew enough to spend it. Her eyes filled. Mom said you'd never find out, that you didn't care about the house anyway. I laughed, short and sharp. That's the thing, Maddie. I cared too much. That's why I'm letting it go. She left crying. That night, Mom and Dad arrived with 2 suitcases and a U-Haul full of Madison's ring lights. Mom fell to her knees in my driveway. We have nowhere to go. The bank took everything. I stood on the porch with Carter had painted last summer. You have Madison's 5-bedroom McMansion she bought with the sponsorship money, right? Plenty of room. Dad tried the reasonable voice. Haley, she's your sister. She was my sister when you chose her over me every day of my life. She's your problem now. I closed the door. The auction happened on schedule. The house sold for $100,000 under market value to a young couple who wanted to start a family. They sent me a thank you note and a photo of their new baby on the porch swing I used to love. I framed it. Mom, Dad, and Madison ended up in a 2-bedroom apartment an hour away. Madison got a job at Sephora. Mom works part-time at Harris Teeter. Dad mows lawns. They don't speak to me. I don't miss them. The closing on my childhood home happened on a Tuesday. I didn't go. I didn't need to watch strangers walk through the rooms where I learned to ride a bike and had my first heartbreak instead. Instead, Carter and I closed on our own house that same week, a quiet craftsman in a neighborhood with good schools and no memories of being second place. We painted the nursery soft sage the day the foreclosure finalized. I stood in the empty room and cried, not for the house I lost, but for the version of me who thought love had to be earned. Madison's Sephora name tag says Maddie B now. She posts the occasional "real jobs are hard" TikTok that gets ratioed into oblivion. Her last viral moment was a coworker filming her crying in the break room because someone called her washed. Mom's Facebook is private, but mutual friends say she comments on my posts with praying hands emojis and never gets a reply. Dad mows lawns on weekends. He waves when he sees me at the grocery store, but he knows better than to speak. I kept one thing from the old house, the brass mailbox with our last name on it. Carter hung it on our new porch. Every time a new piece of mail arrives addressed to the Brooks family, I smile, because this time the name really is mine. I still get messages from women who saw the foreclosure news and recognized the pattern. Your story gave me the courage to stop paying my parents' bills. I finally told my golden child brother, no. I answer every single one. Some nights I sit on our porch swing, the one Carter built, and think about the little girl who used to believe love meant giving until you disappeared. She doesn't live here anymore. Haley Brooks, I used to be the daughter who paid the price for everyone else's dreams. Now I'm the woman who finally stopped writing the check. And my life on the other side of no, it's quiet, it's peaceful, and it's all mine. 2 years later, it's sitting at the breakfast bar of the craftsman we bought with the profit from the old house, sunlight streaming through the bay window. Ellie, our 1-year-old, smearing oatmeal on her high-chair tray with a giggle that sounded like Carter's at the stove making pancakes his weekend specialty, humming some old country tune, and the coffee's strong enough to wake the dead. This is what home feels like now. Warm, chosen, ours. Dad comes by every Sunday after his lawn mowing shift. He brings Ellie a new book from the library and tells her stories about the time I tried to borrow his truck at 14 and got stuck in the driveway. He doesn't mention Mom or Madison. I don't ask. We found a rhythm that works. Quiet. No expectations. Just time. Mom's in a 1-bedroom in the suburbs now, working retail at a boutique that sells the kind of clothes she used to buy for Madison. She posts the occasional Facebook photo of herself at the beach with a caption about finding myself, but the comments are sparse. Madison's in Austin, waitressing at a hipster diner while trying to rebrand as a real talk lifestyle coach. Her TikToks get 200 views on a good day. The van was repossessed last spring. They don't call. I don't mind. I kept one thing from the foreclosure. The brass house number from the old mailbox, 1427. Carter mounted it on the fence post like a mile marker. Every time I drive past it, I think of the girl who used to believe her worth was measured in how much she could give away. That girl's gone. In her place is Haley Brooks, CPA, who started a small consulting firm last year. We specialize in fraud detection for families going through estate disputes. I've helped 3 women reclaim their parents' homes from golden child siblings. One sent me a Christmas card last year with a photo of her grandkids playing in the yard she almost lost. I still get messages from strangers who saw the story go viral. Your courage helped me say no to my sister's one last loan. I finally stopped paying for my brother's mistakes. I answer every one because I remember what it felt like to be the invisible one. Some nights I sit on the porch swing Carter built. Pine from the mountains, sanded smooth by hand, Ellie asleep on my chest, and I think about the spreadsheet that started it all. It wasn't about the money. It was about the line I finally drew in the sand. I'm Haley Brooks. I used to be the daughter who paid the price for everyone else's dreams. Now I'm the woman who learned that the only mortgage worth carrying is the one on your own peace. And my peace? It's paid in full. This story is a fictionalized dramatization. Nothing here is legal or financial advice. But here's my question for you. Have you ever had to set a hard boundary with family over money or property? What happened? How did it end? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this resonated, hit that subscribe button. There's more where this came from. Thanks for being here.